boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. NFL week number 12. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty and playoff talk and clinching talk. And so week 11, I went 5-8 on one loss. I went 3-10 on against the spread and 6-7 on the over/under, which brings my year-to-date totals up 92, 67, and 2. Win loss 68-93 against the spread and 90-71 with the over/under. Was that not the greatest game ever on Monday night? It was the highest scoring Monday night game in the history of Monday Night Football, 779 games. It was the third most points ever put up in an NFL game. Just other records that it broke. It was just amazing. That fourth quarter was just touchdown. I mean, just back and forth. I know fantasy stats blew up. What was so crazy about it is I had the Rams defense in fantasy, and they actually scored a shit ton of points. If I would have started them, I would have won. 2 weeks in a row, my defense has fucked me in fantasy. I have Pittsburgh's defense, and I have St. Louis's defense. Pittsburgh, Carolina, St. Louis, Seattle. I thought Seattle was worse than Carolina. I was wrong. This week, Pittsburgh and who the hell did Pittsburgh play last week? Are Rams and Chiefs. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm starting a Rams defense against the Chiefs because I knew the points would go crazy. Nope, they had 2 defensive touchdowns. So yeah. So we're going to head into week 12 here. We have one playoff scenario. If Seattle loses, the Rams clinch the NFC West. Here we are, playoff talk already. So Thursday, we have 3 Thanksgiving games. First game, we have the NFC North, the 7-3 Chicago Bears versus the 4-6 Detroit Lions. This is a rematch of Week 10. In Week 10, Chicago won 34-22. The Bears are favored by 3.5 on the road with an over/under of 44.5. I'm starting to believe in Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know if everybody out there agrees with me here, but I'm believing in the Bears right now. Bears win. I got them covering the 3.5. Based on that point total, that 56 points put up from Week 10, I'm taking you over on the 44.5. Next, we have the NFC East matchup of the Washington Redskins, 6-4 versus the 5-5, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is favored by 7.5 at home. That's a big number at home, but Washington doesn't have Alex Smith. So, okay, it's not a big number at home. I know Week 7 with Alex Smith, the Redskins won 20-17. I am taking Dallas in this game. They're at home. I think they'll cover the 7.5, and I'm taking under on the 40.5. And then the last game on Thanksgiving, we have the NFC South matchup with the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons versus the 9-1 New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 12.5 at home. Week 3 rematch where the Saints won 43-37 in overtime. I have Atlanta covering the 12.5. Saints win and over on the 60. Now with the Rams winning on Monday night in their bye week this week, Rams, New Orleans Saints, both will be 10-1 if the Saints win here. Saints have the tiebreaker, so the Rams will be the number 2 seed as of right now, and the Saints are the number 1 seed if the Saints win here. Seattle 5-5 versus the Carolina Panthers 6-4. Again, if Seattle loses, the Rams clinch the NFC West. I do have them losing here. I have Carolina's favored by 3.5 at home. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 47.5. Next, we have a game that only very few people will be watching, maybe 2 fan bases. The 2-8 San Francisco 49ers versus the 3-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are favored by 3.5 at home. I have them winning, covering, and over on the 55. Next, we have another game that only the fan bases will be watching. Jacksonville Jaguars 3-7 versus the Buffalo Bills 3-7. I don't even know if the 2 fan bases will be watching this game. Jacksonville favored by 3.5 on the road. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 37.5. Next, we have the Oakland Raiders at 2-8 versus the Baltimore Ravens at 5-5. Currently, the Ravens are tied with 5 teams at 5-5. They have the last playoff team. The Ravens are favored by 10.5 at home. They will be starting Lamar Jackson, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, they'll be starting Lamar Jackson. We'll see how that goes. I didn't look up and see how he did last week, but Ravens are favored by 10.5. I've been winning, covering. I'm taking over on the 43. Next, out of the AFC North, we have the 3-6-1 Cleveland Browns taking on the 5-5 Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are one of 5 teams that are tied at 5-5. Sorry, 6 teams that are tied at 5-5. Isn't that right? Let's see. Yeah, 5 teams. Excuse me, 5 teams. Cincinnati's favored by 3 at home. This is my limb pick. I'm giving the 3 points to Cleveland. I have Cleveland winning this, covering the 3 and under on the 47.5. Let's go Browns. Next we have the NFC East matchup, which if you would have told me week 12 that New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles would not be an important game, I'd have said you're wrong. 3-7 New York Giants. The 4-6 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles won week 6, 34-13. Eagles are favored by 6 at home. I've been winning. I'm covering. I'm taking over on the 46. AFC East matchup. Patriots on the road at 7-3 versus the 3-7 New York Jets. Patriots are favored by 9.5 on the road. I got them winning, covering, and taking over on the 46. Now, with that said, Patriots have 3 losses this year. All 3 losses have been on the road. All 3 losses have been to semi-bad teams. They lost to the 3-win Jacksonville Jaguars. They've lost to the 4-win Detroit Lions. They've lost to the 5-win Tennessee Titans. Could a 3-win New York Jets team at home upset the Patriots? Brady's had an issue with the Jets. Throwing it out there. Would not be a shocker for the Jets to upset the Patriots. I'm not calling it. I'm saying Patriots win. But just throwing it out there for you Brady haters and Patriot haters. Maybe the Jets pull it off. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at 2-8 versus the Los Angeles Chargers at 7-3. Chargers are favored by 11.5. It's going to be a steamroll. Chargers win, cover the 11.5 and over on the 45. Next, we have the 7-2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Denver Broncos at 4-6. Steelers are favored by 3. I do have them winning, covering, and over on the 46.5. Next, part of that 5-way, 5-5 AFC teams. We have the 5-5 Miami Dolphins versus the 5-5 Indianapolis Colts. Right now, one of the 5-5 teams are in the playoffs. I have the Colts winning. They're favored by 8.5. That's a pretty big number. I'm going to give the points to Miami. I'm having to cover the 8.5. I'm taking under on the 51. Colts win. Miami covers at 8.5 and under on the 51. And on Sunday Night Football NFC North matchup, we have the Green Bay Packers at 4-5-1 versus the 5-4-1 Minnesota Vikings. As we all remember, Week 2 was a 29-29 tie. What's the chances? What's the chances of the rematch being a tie? How ironic would that be for both organizations when it comes to trying to make the playoffs? Minnesota's favored by 3.5. I'm picking the Vikings to win. I think they'll cover the 3.5. I'm taking over on the 47.5. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. The Packers need to put somebody with him, a running back, in the defense. Alright, and on Monday Night Football, we have the AFC South. We have the battle of the Houston teams. The former Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans at 5-5 versus the current Houston team, the Houston Texans, at 7-3. The Texans are favored by 5.5. I do have them Texans winning, covering the 5.5 and over on the 40.5. This Monday Night Football game will not be nearly as exciting as the previous one. When you score 105 points among 2 teams, It's going to be exciting. I mean, I've seen some spoofs on Facebook saying that NFL's cancel the rest of the regular season, that the Super Bowl is going to be a best-of-5 series between the Rams and the Chiefs. Is that a Super Bowl preview? Don't know. We don't know yet. But I will tell you, what I want to see happen at this point, I want to see Chiefs, Steelers, AFC Championship game, Rams, Saints, NFC Championship game, and then the repeat of the Super Bowl, the Rams and the Chiefs, and just basically take that Monday night game and just redo it on the Super Bowl stage. Could you imagine Pat Mahomes throwing for 6, 7 touchdowns? Jared Goff throwing for 4. Todd Gurley running for 2 or 3. And that be your Super Bowl? Have the Super Bowl in 2019 be the most points ever scored in an NFL game. How exciting would that be? Because that is where the NFL is going. It's all about points, all about excitement. Defense is gone. I mean, you touch a quarterback, 10-yard penalty. You breathe on a receiver, it's a penalty. I mean, at least we kind of know what a catch is, I think, because you have control, you make a football move, and that's a catch. All right, well, that wrap up NFL week number 12. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and check out the Robert Sports Show NCAA week 13. I did picks for all the FBS games. 64 picks on that video. Check that out. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. I want to say a special happy Thanksgiving to all the NFL prognosticators out there, and have a great time with your family. Enjoy the football. And to everyone who has watched Robert Sports Show in 2018, I do appreciate all the views. Thank you very much. Hopefully you continue watching the shows in 2018 and beyond. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays, everyone out there in YouTube land.